You're tuned into Inside Lowell. Inside Lowell podcast brought to you in part by Washington Savings Bank, serving the greater Lowell community for over 130 years. Make the switch now to Washington Savings Bank.
WellPoint. Unicare is now WellPoint. New name, same commitment to Massachusetts. At WellPoint, your whole health is their whole point.
Boston North Company, offering a wide variety of business solutions to help restaurant and retail clients save money. Boston North. Mahoney Oil Company, providing warmth and protection to families in Greater Lowell and Southern New Hampshire since 1925. That's Mahoney Oil. Francis E. Preventia Insurance. For auto, home, business, and life, trust the agency Greater Lowell has counted on for more than 40 years. Francis E. Preventia Insurance. GoPuff, a grocery store right at your fingertips. Use the code Lowell20 to receive $20 off your first order of $21, plus free delivery. Download the GoPuff app or visit gopuff.com today. And by the Massachusetts Pirates, bringing all the hard-hitting action and excitement of arena football to the Tsonga Center in Lowell. Get your tickets today by visiting masspiratesfootball.com. And now, time for another Inside Lowell podcast. Inside Lowell. If Lowell is your home, this is your place.
Welcome to the Grapefully Yours Wine Podcast. I'm Jim Campanini, co-host of the show, with my good friend, Mike Pigeon, the wine butler.
Good morning.
How are you doing today?
Very well, thank you.
Beautiful. This Inside Lowell podcast is coming to you from the WellPoint Studios. You can see we're making all kinds of big interior renovations and everything, right?
Hey,
Very nice.
Now if we can get the elevator going and get up here, we'll be all set.
Oh, yeah. Unicare is now WellPoint. New name, same commitment to Massachusetts. At WellPoint, your whole health is their whole point. And we're going to get wine and their diagnosis or something.
Somewhere in here, we'll work it
It's
in.
good for you. And we have Teddy Apenos on the controls, our producer. How you doing this morning, Teddy?
Fantastic. Good morning, gentlemen.
You had a good Greek Easter?
Very busy.
Yeah, very busy at the
enjoyable.
restaurant, the Athenian Corner.
He
Give it
made
a
a
try.
lot of people happy with that fine food over there, I hear.
Just like Mystic Dan made a lot of people happy at the Kentucky Derby, including me. You know, I had a win ticket on it, but I didn't have him in the big plays. The big plays, you know. But
That's life. Yep.
now we got to wait a whole another year before I can make another bet, you know, on the Kentucky Derby. So, but it was a great day watching the races. The hats, the way the women were all dressed up in their finery, the men dressed up. That's how it used to be at Suffolk Downs 40 years ago.
Really?
You know, yeah. When I first started going, you know, used to wear a little jacket, you know, and go in there in the clubhouse. It was nice.
Isn't it something how times change?
I know.
Suffolk Downs and Rockingham, they used to pack those places,
I know.
thousands. Now,
Yeah.
where?
Yeah, they used to have the grade one mass handicap.
Oh.
I went 2 years in a row. Saw Cigar win it 2 years in a row with Jerry Bailey. The state police met the van coming in from New York that was carrying Cigar, and they gave him an escort all the way to.
Really?
Imagine those days. So the state police give a horse an escort like it was royalty, you know,
Yep.
all the way into Suffolk Downs and stuff. But it was great. So. Did you have any mint juleps at all? Did you drink any
No,
mint
I'm
julep?
not into those mixed drinks. They're pretty, though, just like, yeah, I know. It's a great day. It's a great spectator sport.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a great spectator.
They said, I read in the paper, 156,000 people were there at Churchill Downs. Unbelievable.
It looked
So-
it, too.
Yeah, yeah. So I grilled some nice fillets on the steak that night. I've got my sister from Indiana, my brother-in-law. They're staying with us at the house.
Yes.
And so we grilled some steaks, and I opened up a nice feather Cabernet Sauvignon from Long Shadows, Walla Walla, one of my favorite Cabernets. It was absolutely silky, gorgeous. The fillets came out perfect. Baked potatoes, sour cream,
So you went into the wine cellar, did you, without me, and
Yes,
brought something
yes,
good up.
yeah.
Good for you.
and we ate, and we watched the race, you know, and then Mary Lee made a lemon blueberry tart,
Oh,
okay, for dessert, which was absolutely phenomenal. Put the put the icing on the cake. You know, it was just beautiful. So, but today we're going to go back to one of my favorite places, a wine places in a beautiful country, Portugal. Okay, we're going to look at two wines from Portugal. And you know what makes Portugal so interesting, as I've said before, you know the native grapes that they have, and also you know the wines are inexpensive, the food is absolutely delicious, you know, and it's a great area to go for vacations. I'm not talking, you know, the Azores are nice because we know a lot of people from Lowell who have
The
family
Azores,
back
yeah.
there. They go to the Azores, and those are the little islands off the coast and stuff, beautiful beaches and stuff. But this is, you know, the mainland on the main. Alentejo is the southern district, very, very warm. Then you got Douro, and that's where the port comes from, and some nice red wines, you know. Well, the wines we're going to taste today, or, well, at least one wine, is produced by Beyra, a very well-known producer from the Beyra interior. It's interior wine. It's a little not as warm as along the coast because there's a little more elevation, but it's still dry. It's a really dry area, but a lot more greenery, you know, and I didn't visit the Beyra winery when I was in Portugal on the wine tasting tour, because we were in basically Alentejo. We did 12 wineries in that area and vineyards. I did have a couple of glasses of Beyra at the restaurants we went. You know, we tasted other wines, and they were delicious, well made.
I forgot all about you going there. And you said when you got, you had a great trip over there, but I forgot all about that.
Yeah,
You
believe
went,
it or not.
Was that 2-3 years ago? 3 years ago?
No, that was just before COVID hit. I came home and people were getting sick.
Yeah.
And when I came back, I caught a cold that lingered
Yeah.
for several weeks. And then there were 7 of us, magazine writers, and that went on the trip. And 2 others got sick, you know,
Yeah,
but they got really sick. They got like the flu, but no one knew. And then it was that February when all the notices came out about COVID and everything.
Yeah,
I said, gee, I probably caught a mild case or something.
If
you know?
it was that.
If it was that. But those other people probably did, but then they didn't even have testing for it and everything, you know. And but yeah, everything shut down. It was December. It was the December trip. It was just before Christmas. And then went into to January, and then everything shut down right after that. So it was, but I always told my wife, you know, Mary Lee, I said, if you want to take a nice trip and see a nice country, Portugal would be the place. So that's on the bucket list. You know, we did the you know, Lake Como, the Wine River Valley, and we go Bordeaux. So Portugal's still on the list with Sicily.
Yeah,
So,
I remember we went to a Portuguese wine tasting in Boston.
That's right.
And I came back, and this is Silver's Market down here on either Perry or Concord. They had a bottle of the red wine. It sold for, I liked it so much here. I bought it. It was $23 or something. And it was a really good, and I don't know if it was what it was, but they stocked the Portuguese wines there. Yeah.
So Mike and I took a little exploratory trip on Saturday. We do our homework. Was it Saturday or Friday?
Saturday, one or the other.
Yeah. I know when you get to our age, you can't even remember the days anyway. So we went to the Wine Connection to see our good friend Sam and Tina Messina and David, who's Sam's son, and Sam was doing good. He just came back from a little vacation with his wife to the Caribbean, and he's got now a little section in the back for Portuguese wines. He had about 4 or 5 different producers where I saw the Beyra, and both of them, the white and the red, were selling for $15 a bottle, which is, you know, pretty good value. These wines, like I said, they're very, very good. And so I said, you know what, this is interesting. Let's get the wines, bring them on the show and talk about them. And even Sam said, because he was down to the last 2 bottles of the red. he said it's been, selling like crazy, and he had a new case of the white. But we're gonna talk about this red because one of the there's the Beyra, Beyra, Portugal. Okay, that's how you spell it. You can look for it. And there's the label, Beyra Reserva. Now, Reserva, they put Reserva on a lot of bottles. It doesn't really mean anything. But most of the European countries, from their classification system, Reserva means that it's aged a little longer. It's more rigid in France and Italy, where they have aging requirements. You can't use the word Reserva unless it's aged for at least 1 year in bottle. This red is aged in French oak for 6 months. Okay, but the fascinating thing about the Portuguese wines, even Spanish wines, and Latin American wines, is one of my favorite grapes, Tempranillo.
Oh yeah.
Now Tempranillo is such a classic a grape. It used to be used in a lot of blending, still is a blending of wines, but now they're making it 100% Tempranillo. Why? Because it's becoming somewhat of a stand-in for Cabernet Sauvignon in some places. Okay. Even like the Touriga Nacional, the red grape from Portugal, they're experimenting with that because it has some characteristics close to Cabernet Sauvignon. And all this is being fueled by climate change. We've talked about that. The Cabernet is being threatened because it's with the extra heat, the warmth, and climate change, it's maturing too rapidly, and not enough of its traits are maturing balanced. The phenols and everything else. So, but Tempranillo, you see it in sangrias, you see it in other blending properties. This is blended with the Mencia grape, which is a native also from Portugal, a beautiful, beautiful grape. You can get bottles of 100% Mencia, but what a combination. Two great grapes, very, they're very tasty, juicy, a lot of cherry, black cherry taste, and very, very, it starts out a little sweet and dry, so. You had a taste already?
No, I put it up the nose. It's nice
very, very aromatic.
Yeah, you're very.
And like I said before, the elevation helps this wine because it cools off. The vines at night cool off when you get the breezes and I forget what is it? Is it the Pyrenees? Is that the
Pyrenees?
Pyrenees that come from Spain and go a little into the border area, and that brings the cooling winds and stops the harsh weather.
I was looking to see the alcohol content. That's got a strong hit when it bangs.
14.5% alcohol.
14.5. That's why it's dark, isn't it? Too.
Oh,
very
man.
Dark.
Well, it's a fresh
Purple.
wine.
Yeah.
What year is this? 2021.
Yeah.
So 3 years old, but yeah, beautiful. Look at that. Look at that purple, huh? Very purple color. It's got a beautiful, fruity taste, and boy, this would probably make a nice sangria too. You can make sangria with this, with all your fruit and everything. But it's silky smooth, isn't it?
Yeah, it kind of burns the back of your mouth a little bit. It's like the alcohol really hits you in the end there.
Yeah, it's got some warmth.
Yeah.
As it goes down and stuff, and
nice red.
I mean, this would be a nice wine for you could have this with steaks, grilled meats, and but wouldn't pass it up with a nice burger or anything like that. But you could have it a pizza, I imagine.
It's a mouthful.
It's a mouthful. So it's very tasty, very fruity, and you should. I mean, I don't know if they carry this in the silvers. I know they have Espero, and because I bought that Velo VELHO. It's an inexpensive red wine, very tasty, from Portugal. But you might check Silver's Market and Lowell. But they carry this in the New Hampshire liquor store and also with the Wine Connection. Like I said, it's for $15. I think it's quite a value for $15. You want a red wine and taste some good berry fruit, and it's almost got like a rustic quality to it. The taste
On the dry side. It's
yes.
on the dry
Oh yeah.
side. Yeah.
On the, it ends very, very dry.
Dry for a dry.
So
even,
so yeah, and that alcohol is powerful.
yeah.
It is the 14.5%. So I think you'll enjoy tasting this wine and sharing it with your friends, especially if you have a Portuguese night party, right?
Well, as you said, any heavy meat dish would be great. Yeah.
So yeah, Tempranillo grape. If you've probably had it before, but it's a very, very. There's some great wines out there, even from Chile. They have they grow Tempranillo. Argentina a bit too. So you see a lot of the Latin American wine growing countries. They also have Tempranillo, but it's big for Spain and Portugal, and it's a very delightful taste, and grape got a lot of character and stuff. So give it a shot. Go out there, see Sam at the Wine Connection. He had that's right. We weren't there Saturday because he had his big Run for the Roses promotion on Saturday.
That's right. We went out the day before. He was getting ready for it, and
yeah.
I bet that was well attended.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah. He had a great display, and it was interesting that we walk into the store, and it's the first time I've ever seen it. He had the Mondello beer.
Beer,
He had a big beer. And I said, "What are we becoming, a beer club now?" And stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got a great selection of wall-to-wall coolers on the left-hand side of the store, all filled with
Beers,
the
different
beers,
types,
different beers, craft beers, and stuff. And we also, Mike and I also, because I needed a bourbon to make my Manhattans for the Kentucky Derby.
And you're at the rye. Did you try it yet?
Yes, the rye was excellent.
Good. I
and
told
that
you.
new,
Mixture,
and he made me try a new vermouth, the red vermouth from
sweet
Italy.
vermouth,
It was from southern Italy. I think it was called Tonno, Tonno, rather than the Martini Rossi. And it really was excellent. I had the Luxardo cherries.
Cherries, I saw you buy them. Yeah.
So I used a little more of the red vermouth. No more dry vermouth. Sam said, "Don't use dry vermouth. Just use the red vermouth."
For your Manhattans.
My
oh,
Manhattans,
absolutely.
and a little of the bitters.
Absolutely.
I read somewhere, I don't know, about the mixing the dry and the sweet vermouth. No.
Well, some go half an hour to your taste.
Yeah. But when I do mix it in the ice, you got to stir it. I let it sit there for a little. I let it get chilled, nice and chilled. And then, after stirring I got a nice big silver spoon, pouring it over and stuff. Oh, they were so tasty. Just before the race, just before post time, it was fantastic.
I can hear the horn sounding now.
Yeah. It was very, very nice. So it's always nice to take a trip out there to the Wine Connection. Even if you browse the store, there's no pressure to buy anything. But Sam, David, you got any questions, they'll answer them. And like he had the. I always buy that Four Roses, the single barrel, 4 Roses, and they had it on special, $41. It's regular $46. So I picked up a bottle of that. Then I bought the Mickness Rye.
You like that? That's
I
good.
like that.
That's
yeah,
good.
little tastier. With when you make the
it's
Manhattans
rye,
and the
yeah,
bourbons
yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff. So go out there. He's got some great deals out there. Now, the other Portuguese wine is the white wine, Okay,
Same.
Beyra. Now this wine is served at they sell it by the glass at Cavalieros, which I had last week. I went down there. I had to meet someone there, and I had the salmon, the glazed salmon, and we had a glass of this. It was very, very good. So I had 2 glasses. Okay. Now this is another blend, Fonte Cal, which is, these are all native grapes. Verdelho, which you probably had Verdelho. If you go to a Portuguese restaurant, they usually have 100% Verdelho. It comes in it almost looks like a Riesling bottle, and it's got a green
Very
tint
slim,
on it.
yeah.
Okay. Gouveio and Godello. Now Godello is a fantastic white grape. Okay. Godello is usually a wine that's a varietal that's made on its own 100%. And Portuguese produces some great Godello wines. Thing is, you're going to spend about $20 for a good Godello wine because it's from the northern. Is it the northern part of the country? Yes, it's the northern part of the country, the highest elevation where it grows, and it's just a superb tasting grape. So this wine, when I've had it, I've had the blend before, but the Beyra at the Cavalieros, you get the apricot, the peach, So it's ends dry like a Chardonnay. It's got a little sweetness in it, but it's got those nice orchard flavors. The orchard flavors to it. So.
Yep.
Do you want a taste of it? Or
Sure.
you
Well,
want to
open
taste
it up. Oh.
Okay. Let me open it up, okay? You carry the show for a little while I'm doing this, all right? Talk to Teddy or something.
I can carry the wines up here. That's the best I can do.
Yeah.
It's
So what did you have
that-
Kentucky Derby Day? Didn't you go out? Didn't you have a family affair or something you had to
we
do?
went to Nappy's out there for.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And that's nice because you can bring your own beverage. And when I go to an Italian restaurant, I like to, when you can bring your own alcohol, I always stay with Italian wines. And,
So what did you bring?
well, I had a bottle of that Chianti that you gave me for Christmas, I think. It begins with a C.
Monsanto.
Yeah.
Castello Monsanto there.
Had that, and then
Did you like it?
a little fruity there with the food. I followed it up with the Antinori Toscana. That's such a good, solid go-to wine.
Yeah.
And with all the food we had out there, it was good.
Good.
Okay, what do we
so-
got here? A little yellowish tint
Well,
here. a little gold.
smell it. Get those aromas down.
Grapefruit.
I know.
A lot of
Smells a little
grapes.
grapefruit.
Sometimes if it's too strong of one fragrance, I got to brace myself for it.
13% volume alcohol. Okay.
Teddy will look for my objective opinion on this. With this, before I even touch my lips, I'm telling myself, watch out. It's that strong grapefruit, which I like the Sauvignon Blanc, sometimes.
It does. I mean, for some reason.
Overbearing. I'm not.
So-
That's what I'm tasting.
I'm kind of surprised because I wonder what this is the 2021. So we had I had this with the bowl of mussels. The mussels.
Oh, it's nice once you taste it.
yeah.
Though. It's not as strong as no.
Yeah, and it cavalier went really well with the mussels. And then the salmon came out. I had the another glass, but for some reason the wine the other night was more peachy and apricot.
Yeah.
And now this has a
grapefruit.
profile. It's got a little grapefruit, but it's mild. It's not a.
Very nice on the palate, though. I was a little turned up by the heavy grapefruit, but once you get it in there, it's not. It smooths out really good.
But it's got a nice texture. And it's chilled. It's got a refreshing quality to it. Very refreshing
Excellent.
taste.
Very nice. Yeah.
So yeah. So you can make a twin pairing with this, but this would be very good for sipping, patio sipping with your appetizer and stuff. Good with fish. what kind of fish dinners, you know. But it's got brightness to it. It's got that crispy
Mussels.
yeah. But it's not as, it's not a Sauvignon Blanc. It's not as not as
acidic,
vibrant and as that, and acidic.
It's a little softer.
Yeah, a little softer. And
to the taste, I find this much more likable than the Sauvignon Blanc. Just the way it goes into your mouth and rests there. Yeah. Nice.
It grows on you.
Yeah,
It really does.
Yeah, I can go back for the second, third, fourth slip with the Sauvignon Blanc. I just can't.
It makes you want to smack, So,
Pucker
so
up.
very, very good. And you know what? It's a good match for Portuguese food, tapas dishes. And once again, there's another one for you. Try $15 a bottle. Can't go wrong.
Next time I go to the Four Seasons in Lowell, I like that stew they have,
Oh,
the
yeah.
Portuguese. So I'll
Yeah, they have Portuguese wines, right? on
yes,
the
they do.
menu?
Only a couple though.
Yeah.
That's not a big selection, but I'll check that. I've had their white wine there before.
Yeah.
I'll pay more attention to it now after today.
I just want to ask Teddy a question, since he manages a great restaurant in Lowell, the Athenian Corner. What's the benefit? Why do restaurants bring your own beer? Or wine. Bring your own booze. BYOB. Why did they do that? Because I thought booze was a big profit maker at most restaurants.
The only thing I can think of is a place that doesn't have a liquor license.
Yeah, you have to struggle to pay a high liquor license.
Certain places that don't care.
Yeah, but like Nappy's is a great restaurant. It's always packed. And if they wanted a liquor license, they could.
You have to pay for the liquor license and the liability insurance for liquor. It's like having a swimming pool in your yard. All of a sudden, so they're much safer and better off. Bring your own. They're not and that's where restaurants make their money a lot, is with the alcohol. But
you could charge a corking fee, right? Is that what they do?
I would imagine they have some kind of, and it's also probably an upcharge insurance.
Right. So
corkage fees are usually restaurants that already have a license, but some people, those restaurants usually high end, so people go in there with a $1,300 bottle of wine or something. And they'll pay for the corkage, but you wouldn't want to go in there with a regular bottle of wine and pay a corkage fee.
no, but I have. You leave it as an extra, tip or something like that. I mean, and it doesn't bother me. I know. There were a couple of restaurants when I used to live in Winthrop that had nice restaurants right along the water, BYOB and bring your own booze. And there's the good one I've heard about. I haven't been there. There's one named Rossetti's or something on the water, small restaurant, but you got to get a reservation. It takes a couple of months to get in there, unless some criminal element. I think. That was a joke. Okay. The Rossetti family was a great family, I'm sure. Okay. But, all right. So anything you add to this mix now? We're not going to have a show next Monday. Okay.
But the following
I have to
Monday.
play in a charity golf tournament. So.
Yeah.
And then I'm heading to Washington to play golf a couple of days with my good friend Bill McCann.
Yeah.
Okay, down in Washington, and my twin brother John, was celebrating our birthday in Washington, and then we'll straighten it out. We got 3 days. But we're going to straighten out Washington while we're down there.
Are you flying down, or are you taking a plane?
We're going to fly down because Johnny, my brother's got to be back for the weekend, so we're flying back Saturday morning.
Be a great time.
And then we'll be back the 20th for our next show, where hopefully. We'll talk about your Chateauneuf do what? Chateauneuf?
Chateauneuf the pop.
Okay, we'll talk about the Chateauneuf the pop. All right. So until we're back on the air. Okay. Any closing thoughts from you, Mike?
Safe trip to Washington.
All right. May the wine be with you.
You'll be back, and you'll be a cabinet member.